chia seeds are the darling of the health and wellness space. I personally use it daily in my smoothies. It's packed with fiber to help boost satiety. It has anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats. But there's a new guy in town and it might have just dethroned chia seeds. But is the hype actually worth the cost? Let's dive into it. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance. Meet basil seeds. Yes, like the seeds that you would put in your garden. Turns out they're edible and they actually have been used for a while, but I've noticed they've started to become more and more mainstream, especially as a replacement to chia seeds. It actually has a lot of similarities to chia seeds, but with some exceptions, it actually can be a little bit better for you. Basil seeds are often used in a very similar way to chia seeds. You can make chia pudding, but I guess it would be like basil seed pudding. You can throw it in smoothies. Now, when you look at the difference between basil seeds and chia seeds, especially at 1 tablespoon servings each, basil seeds has about 60 calories per tablespoon. Chia seeds has about 48, but more importantly, if we look at some of the other details, so like fiber, basil seeds actually has about 7 grams of fiber per tablespoon, which is about double that of chia seeds, and chia seeds was already really high in fiber with about 3.5 grams of fiber per tablespoon. Basil seeds contains a little bit less fat. It has about 2.5 grams per tablespoon versus chia seeds, which has about 3 grams. And because of that, it also has a little bit less of the omega-3, which is the anti-inflammatory fat. Not a huge difference, but it is about a half a gram less than chia seeds. Now, the protein is also pretty similar. It's about 2 grams for basil seeds and about 1.5 or 1.65 grams for chia seeds. But keep in mind, this is kind of a moot point because for either of these, it's not going to be a really well absorbed protein. It's also not going to be complete. So you can kind of just scratch that in terms of health perks. Now, when it comes to calcium, basil seeds has about 150 milligrams. So it's about 15% of your daily needs versus chia, which has 63 milligrams. I'm unsure of how much of this is actually absorbed from either of these sources. Typically from plant-based sources, you're not going to get as much absorption of calcium from either the basil seeds or chia seeds, but regardless, basil seeds does seem to be a little bit higher. And then for both iron and magnesium, basil seeds and chia seeds are pretty similar, both covering roughly about 10% of your daily needs for both of these. But really the biggest difference between basil seeds and chia seeds that have people interested in basil seeds is that basil seeds don't contain lectins, whereas chia seeds do. Now, lectins are plant compounds that can be an anti-nutrient. So basically it stops your body from absorbing certain nutrients. Now, some people are very sensitive to these lectins. It can cause a lot of inflammation within the body. It can cause a lot of gut distress, whereas others aren't as sensitive. Lectins are commonly in other plant-based foods like beans or grains or nuts. There are ways to cook or to soak these different food items to help really reduce the lectins. But just like with lactose, not everyone is super sensitive to lectins, whereas other people are really, really sensitive to lectins and have to be aware of the foods that do contain lectins. So this is where when you choose basil seeds or chia seeds, since they do have a lot of similar benefits, although basil seeds do have a little bit of a leg up on some nutrients, you only really need to be concerned about picking one over the other if you are really sensitive to lectins, which if you are, then you want to go with the basil seed route. But does it actually taste good? I don't know why, it just seemed odd to me. So I'm going to be making a simple chia pudding, or I guess like basil seed pudding and chia pudding, and taste testing the difference. But before we do that, if you're liking this video so far, it'd mean the world to me if you gave this video a thumbs up. It's a free way to help support my channel and it really does go a long way. Thank you so much. Now, before we get into the taste, one thing that kind of really matters is looking at the price breakdown. Whether it be basil seeds or chia seeds, when you're looking at the price breakdown, it will vary depending on the brand that you're choosing. So I tried to choose what looked like similar types of brands for each for an equal comparison. Now, I found on Amazon that organic basil seeds ran for about $1.43 per ounce. And these are for the edible basil seeds. Organic chia seeds, on the other hand, were about 34 cents per ounce. But this can also go up to about $1 an ounce. So clearly in terms of price breakdown, chia seeds is the winner here. But what about the taste? I got these basil seeds on Amazon in this kind of sketchy bag, which it looked different when I ordered it on Amazon. So let's do a taste test and find out. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm super smart. I just opened that sketchy bag, realized there's actually another bag in there. To my defense, it came in another box, so I don't know why. Oh, there's more stuff coming out of here. What is this? I've also got some tea. I don't know why they did that, but not sketchy. Sorry, Caramel Organics. It's actually a very nice bag. Okay, except it smells really weird. I don't know if that's the packaging. It smells like very plasticky, but seeds itself smell fine, but whoa, the package smells really strange. So it is a lot darker than chia seed, but you can see it's quite a bit darker than the chia seeds. The basil seeds almost kind of look like sesame seeds. So if you're used to using those, kind of looks the same. I want to keep this chia pudding, basil seed pudding, as simple as possible so that we can really actually taste the difference. So instead of using like almond milk, I'm actually going to be using some hot water and some Greek yogurt. So while the water heats up, I'm just going to add in just like a spoonful of Greek yogurt. See how this goes. So here we have the basil seeds, should be good, and the chia seeds. Give each one a little stir. I'm making a mess. Okay, so it's already starting to like congeal a bit. So it has similar properties where it should be releasing those soluble fibers that make it into that pudding. And then here we have the chia pudding. I think I might have accidentally put a little bit more water in here, but actually no, it's roughly the same, almost exactly the same amount of water. So that extra fiber in the basil seeds might actually be making it more congealed. Like we do have the slight pudding that's being formed, but we probably need to add more chia seeds to this to get that same texture. I can see that each individual seed is getting congealed and releasing the fibers, but perhaps because it does have about half the amount of fiber, it's not getting the same pudding texture, which is interesting. Where you can see this one, look at that. That's like straight up just regular old chia pudding. Interesting, not what I was expecting. So here's the basil seeds. Yeah, that just looks like pudding. They've been sitting the same amount of time. But look at this one. This is much more liquid. So it does have almost exactly the same amount of liquid, but this one is coming out to be, the basil seeds are coming out to be way more pudding-y. I'm not going to lie, so far that is a surprise. I was expecting the chia seeds to work out so much better. But in terms of texture, I would definitely have to give the win to basil seeds because you can use so much less of it and get that nice pudding texture that we want when we have like a chia pudding. This one's still struggling. So here's the first taste of the basil seed pudding, just like a basic basil seed pudding. This is my first time trying it, so you're getting like my very honest reaction. It's a lot more like, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a lot more crunchy. I don't hate it, but it's just different than what I'm used to. Where chia seeds, when they're puffed up, you don't get as much of like the crunchiness, but let me taste my chia pudding soup. They don't taste much different. They taste pretty similar. So in terms of taste, I'm gonna have to give it to both of them. But in terms of texture, I've been having chia seeds for so long, I'm used to the texture of chia seeds. I kind of like that I don't notice the chia seeds when I have them. I haven't tried the basil seeds in a smoothie, but I'm assuming it probably should blend up if you have a high power blender, just the same where you wouldn't notice it anyway. I still prefer the chia seeds, at least for chia pudding. If it's in smoothies, I think either should be fine because of the similar benefits, because of the big cost difference, and because I'm not personally super sensitive to lectins. I'm still going to be sticking with chia seeds because I can find the organic ones for like 1/5 the price of what I found for the basil seeds. If you are lectin sensitive though, basil seeds, not a bad option, just a slight different taste or texture because the nutrient profile is so similar. You could swap out basil seeds if you do like basil seeds for anything that does contain chia seeds. So if you want to test that out, you can test out one of my smoothie recipes that uses chia seeds and use basil seeds instead with this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right guys, thanks so much for tuning in and I'll see you in my next video.